Hey Cancer, welcome back to Distilled Tarot. My name's Shannon. I'll be guiding you through today's reading. This is our daily reading for June 22nd, 2025. Let's see what's going on with Cancer. The heart of your reading, we have Strength in reverse. You're recognizing that you're falling short in an area where you want to be stronger, so you're working that muscle somehow. It has the practice makes perfect energy all over it. But it was prompted by you dropping the ball somehow. Like you were out at the park with your friends or your family and someone rolls over a hula hoop and they're all having fun hula hooping and you're like, oh yeah, I'll totally do it. And you put the hula hoop around you and it fails to go around and you're just flailing and maybe a little embarrassed, probably just a little sheepish. Oh dang, I thought I knew how to do this, or I thought it was easier. So it's a silly, simple, frivolous example to apply to whatever your situation is, where you're all right, screw that, I'm going to learn how to hula hoop. And you buy one for yourself and you practice it at home and you do it in front of the mirror in the garage, whatever your plan of attack is to work a muscle and get better at something. What's the challenge here for Cancer? We have the Seven of Wands, setting boundaries, sticking to your guns, and the Five of Pentacles. So, more likely this isn't something fun and frivolous. I think that you are needing to establish and uphold strong, healthy boundaries when it comes to keeping someone away from you. It's when I say you're moving out, you're moving out. Or when I say we're breaking up, it's really over. So it's that sort of, I need to develop the inner strength in order to maintain these boundaries in a way that is effective and healthy for me. Your focus is on death in reverse. Maybe you have these lingering feelings something isn't really over. Potentially you feel oh, they're just not gonna let this end. Or maybe your boundaries aren't that strong because you don't wholeheartedly want it to end. You can't have it both ways. You can't uphold a strong, healthy boundary to break up with someone, but secretly also really, really want to be with them. I think that sort of works at odds with one another, those energies conflict. And it'll bleed through so that you soften those boundaries, or you, I don't know, who knows? Maybe I'm off base here. I'm not a therapist. But I think you might be undermining your own efforts because you're not really evaluating what you want and why. Yeah, no, I'm going to stick to my guns on that one, uphold my own boundaries, because I think that if you get to the point where a genuine desire to make things the best that they can be equals breaking up in your mind, then any desire that you have to still be with that person is unhealthy. And that's something that needs to be addressed and worked through and evaluated so you understand yourself better. Why do I want to be with this person when it's not working? Heal that part of you so you're not undermining your own boundaries. Show me what led up to this in the recent past. Some of you are no, this is just about hula hooping. It's not that serious. Sorry, I'm just trying to inject a little levity. It's getting a little heavy in here. In the recent past, we have the Seven of Cups in reverse, a loss of desire, or maybe realizing that the motivation that you had for something, maybe for this person, for this relationship, your desire for this relationship was based in something that was unhealthy. Like an unhealthy attachment because you're afraid of being alone, and it doesn't really matter who's next to you. You just need companionship. You're afraid of solitude, so you fill that void with any monster that walks by. The stereotype of this archetype is the 7 deadly sins. And these cups represent, they're filled with those different vices. But it's also meant to say, these are emotional motivations for the things that we do in life. And the insinuation is that all of these things are unhealthy. Now, it doesn't have to be interpreted all of those things every time this card comes out. I just say that to mean, like, to express to you that I feel like what Spirit's trying to say in this instance is whatever was motivating you to connect with this person or this activity was unhealthy to begin with. And I think the reversal of the card is you starting to realize that and put 2 and 2 together, like, why did I even want this person? If you've already been working on healing parts of yourself that the past unhealed version of you was the thing that was magnetizing you to this toxic energy, and it had you craving it and wanting it and needing it. You heal that and you don't crave it, want it, need it anymore, and it feels a bit hollow. It feels like you're walking in the echoes of a past desire and it doesn't ring true anymore. From your higher self perspective, there's always good that can come from every situation. And that part of us has a more big picture perspective. From your higher self perspective, the good that can come from this is becoming very clear and identifying what Knight of Wands in reverse energy looks like and feels like in real life. Not just the idea of it, not just the archetypal concept of it, but in reality. When you're face to face with it, when you're falling asleep lying next to it. This Knight of Wands in reverse in the storybooks is the Gaston in Beauty and the Beast, where you can tell by the way they're drawn that they're attractive and charismatic, but they're a bad dude. And obviously Belle wouldn't want to be with Gaston, right? But the reality of the situation is that this character can wear many masks, can appear and fake and sometimes be great one day and terrible the next. It's a mixed bag. This is someone who is emotionally immature, allows their impulses to guide them. They take action based on whatever shiny object is magnetizing them in that moment. They don't have any longevity. They're not thinking that way. They're not built that way. They're not capable of thinking long term, factoring in other people's emotions or well-being. That's just not part of their capacity. they don't always appear like a bad dude. They probably believe, because they don't know any different, they believe that they're a good person. They believe that they are treating you well. They will swear up and down that they're doing right by you, because they think that the way that they're behaving is good because it feels good to them. So that kind of supports their own belief. It's like this self-fulfilling fallacy. When you start to identify the ways in which this manifests in your life, you can do a better job of realizing when you're misaligned with someone, rather than believing that they're Prince Charming, looking at the fact that there's a knight here, a knight in shining armor, riding in on a white horse to rescue me. This isn't a fairy tale. People have faults, people have failings, people don't measure up. Not everyone is a match for you, right? So it's a little bit like what we were talking about in the recent past with having a void that needs to be filled with whomever shows up, and a little bit like not realizing that it's a monster and not your Prince Charming. And from your higher self perspective, one of the important shifts that you're going to make from having this experience is that realization, that crystallization of like, oh, okay, sometimes I can really have tender, caring moments with someone, and they're just completely emotionally inept to have a deep, fulfilling relationship like I'm capable of. So they're not a match for me. This is someone who cheats and doesn't understand why that's wrong. They conceal it because they know you'll get mad at them. They want their cake and they want to eat it too. Anyways, I don't want to dwell on that energy. I think you get what I'm saying, but there's more lesson to learn for you there, and I'm just kind of really big sister energy, like hoping that you don't have to come to face with another relationship with a person like that and suffer through it to finally stop being attracted to it. Which is what I would hope for you if this is your story, because I care about you. Show me what's coming up next for Cancer. The Eight of Swords. You're going to feel like there's no way out, somehow trapped. There's only one solution to this. It's very black and white thinking. It's very like all or nothing, my way or the highway. A very stubborn energy, but the implication of the Eight of Swords is there's always a way out that you're not seeing, and it's actually your belief that there's no other way that is the problem. Show me what's going to impact the situation that Cancer doesn't see coming. There's some sort of attention to detail that's going to be overlooked. Some detail is going to be lost, or when someone's supposed to be watching something, they're going to drop the ball and not be watching it. Your hopes and fears, we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. What if I'm just not that pretty? What if I can't do any better? What if no one's going to be attracted to me? What if I'm too old? What if I'm too wrinkly? What if I'm too fat? What if nobody's going to like my C-section scar? There's this, like, all these nagging self-doubts that are holding you back from exemplifying all of the beauty that is within you, the beautiful soul that you are, inside and out. Sometimes I see people online, out in public, who maybe I superficially would compare myself as they are conventionally less attractive than me. And I share this example for a reason. But I see them with their spark so alive, wearing a crop top and letting their belly that comes out like show. And whereas I would never be brave enough to do that, I would feel, I would hear my father's voice in my head, like, you know, fat people need to cover themselves, or whatever sort of fat phobic, terrible, sort of biased statement. Like, there was a lot of self-loathing that went on with him, but that's part of the imprint for me. And I think we all sort of harbor the reasons, what's informing that feeling of why she doesn't believe that she's enough. And I start to share that example of, like, there can be someone who's 500 pounds, wearing a crop top, all made up and feeling their best, and they go out and they, like, are fully living their expression, and they will find partners who think the world of them. They will find friends who enjoy their company, have a lot of fun with them, don't think any less of them because of their weight. And I just use weight as one example because that's one of my personal hang-ups, okay? So whatever it is for you, like a scar or your height or your singing voice or whatever it is that you're like, I can't possibly feel gorgeous and fiery and brave and powerful and alluring and desirable because XYZ, whatever those litany of reasons that you give yourself. There are people out there living their best life who you would judge yourself as prettier or more talented than. It's the people who are going out and doing it that are actually in the better position. If you hold yourself back from even trying, even connecting with the world, then who is the one who's really less than? Do you know what I mean? Like, who is, and sorry, I'm using like these less than, better than, right? I hope you understand what I'm trying to convey here. It's like, who's missing out? And it's those of us who will never put ourselves out there because we're afraid of being perceived, not being good enough, people teasing us or telling us we're ugly or not pretty enough to be on camera or whatever. Not wanting to open yourself up to criticism because of the inner critic telling you, first and foremost, you're not good enough. And that's the big lie. The end result, we have the 5 of Swords, the King of Swords, and the 10 of Cups in reverse. There's going to be some culmination of the conversation, a big fight. And I think you in the decision-making seat about what you're not happy about. This is not my vision for the future. This is not what's going to make me happy. It's in the context of an argument. So I think you're going to hash it out with this person that we've been discussing in the reading. But it's all going to come down to you feeling empowered to make the decision, make the final ruling. It implies that you're going to communicate things well. The King of Swords is an excellent communicator. He's decisive and he sticks to his decision, like his ruling is final. And the Ten of Cups there showing up in the reverse tells me that you're closer to understanding what you do want, what is going to make you happy, so that you can compare it to what you have now and see, oh, you know what? This is not what's going to make me happy. Maybe I used to think it would, but now I realize happiness is something else. Your advice is to focus on your own healing, your own peace. Prioritize that over everything. If you need to take a break from someone, if you need personal time, if you need alone time, claim it. It's going to be important for you to take a step back in some way, shape, or form in order to manifest the best possible outcome. So Cancer, I hope this reading helped. Take care, and I will see you back tomorrow.